This is a Film Stories original podcast.
We made this.
Hello and welcome everyone to the X-Cast. The truth is in here. This is our special Fight the Future Minute podcast. I'm Tony Black and you are listening to our coverage of minute 19 of the X-Files Fight the Future. This minute begins at 18 minutes exactly as Mulder inside the Texas Federal Building finds himself facing down the bomb, and ends on 18 minutes and 59 seconds with Scully asking Special Agent in Charge Darius Michaud if the bomb can be defused. And to discuss this minute, I'm joined by an all-new guest on Fight the Future Minute in X-Cast patron, semi-regular guest of the show, and showrunner of our Millennium podcast on the We Made This podcast network. The time is now, Kurt North. Welcome to Fight the Future Minute, mate.
Thank you very much, and it's glad to be here. Glad to be crossing over with Terry O'Quinn as well, which is a good one to start with. It's a fantastic.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. I can't wait till we get the Terry O'Quinn biopic, because I'm definitely doing that as a minute podcast. Absolutely. Oh, they should do that, shouldn't they? There should be a Terry O'Quinn biopic film. That'd be amazing. I'd love that.
Yeah. I think we'd be straight to the cinema, wouldn't we?
Well, yeah, but he'd have to play himself. That my only my only thing would be he has to play himself. But yeah, okay, so before we talk about this minute of Fight the Future, we do this with every new guest we get on, and we ask about your experience of Fight the Future. So, when did you first watch the first X-Files movie, Kurt? And then what would you give it out of 10?
First watched it on day of release back in 1998. I think we saw it in August. I think it was out earlier, and I think it was 8 to 12 weeks before in America. So I saw it when it first came out. I think I watched it 6 times overall in the space of maybe 2 or 3 weeks. So yeah, I loved it. It was right in the middle of everything happening. Season 5, season 6. You know, I was at the height of the fandom at that point. I joined pretty much in season 2. So yeah, I think it was perfect. I was 18, so it was a nice age to go and do what I wanted at that time as well. So I had plenty of spare time. Sixth form had just been finished. It was school holidays, so yeah, plenty of time to watch it. With regards to what I would rate it out of 10, I know that some people don't particularly like this. I mean, I'm a big mythology person anyway, so that it puts it in favour for me as well. But I'd give it a good 8 out of 10. I think it's a great film. I love how they don't. David Duchovny says this in one of the makings of that. You know, he doesn't use a gun. He doesn't hold a gun at any point, and you know, and it's an action film. It's more of a conspiracy, Parallax View type film in some ways, with elements of horror and alien and things. So yeah, I think it's a well balanced film. There's of course things that I would like to have changed, and you know, issues that I have with the film, but overall, as a piece of X-Files lore, I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I think we're on similar lines, really. You know, as everyone knows, I talked about it towards the start of this Fight the Future Minute podcast. But yeah, I think I said 8 out of 10, and I would agree. I think it's a solid piece of mythology, and yeah, I'm with you all the way on that, really. So yeah, cool. Be interesting to see as we keep going on with this what people are saying in terms of gradings and things like that, because it's all over the shop a bit. So
what I particularly like about the way that this Fight the Future Minute's happening is that you're going to have people that come at the show from all different angles. So you're going to have the B, for example, and you know, the stuff that we're talking about, more about the mythology, and you've got other aspects of it. So I think that, you know, there's something for everyone, and especially the format that you've done here. It's going to be an interesting, you know, how many 100 and odd episodes that you're going to be doing for it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to listening to the whole thing, to be honest.
Cheers. It is a great format, not one that I can claim is mine at all. We're stealing this from the guys who created Star Wars Minute, which was the first one, but it's loads of people are doing it now, and it's a great format. It's a fascinating one. I'm going to explore more and more, I think, as time goes on with podcasting. But yeah, it's been good fun so far. So in this minute, obviously, we're right in the thick of it now with this opening big scene in terms of the federal building, and this minute begins with Mulder. Obviously, he's trapped in this room with the bomb, and he says that one of many Mulder crypts in this. You know that face I'm making? I just showed you. I'm making it again as he's sweating buckets because he's got this massive bomb that's like minutes away from exploding.
He is sweating buckets as well, isn't he? The makeup on David Duchovny at this point, I don't know if they've just stuck PVA glue on him or something because he's quite shiny.
He is shiny, and they make the point in the commentary that you wouldn't have necessarily picked this up on TV production cameras. You know, it's because it's cinematic film. You really see this is really drawn out, this kind of perspiration and things like that. So yeah, but they probably did amp it up a bit. Maybe they threw a bucket of water on his head, you know, before they started. It could have been. But then obviously you've got Michaud cutting through the office door with the tools.
Yeah,
doing a bit of laser work.
Just before we go any further with that, can we talk about that tash? Because
this is peak Terry, isn't it? With the moustache.
It's incredible. I mean, I'm not sure, but I'm not 100% sure anyway. But I think that tash has magically diminished between the rooftop scene and the helicopter. So I don't know if the helicopter blades has chopped a little bit off because it's very, very thin. And unless it's just the big goggles that are making it, just incredibly, it just looks amazing. I love that tash.
It's a great tash, and he kind of got rid of it once he got past the era of like the Chris Carter shows. Like once he gets to Lost, he doesn't have that tash anymore. You know, it's all gone really, which is a real crying shame because you know in the era of like Michaud, Peter Watts in Millennium, it's a superb bit of facial hair he's got going on there.
Oh, absolutely.
But he cuts through the door. So he's not only a high-ranking FBI agent, he's also quite an accomplished welder, it seems as well.
He does everything. He's definitely a hands-on special agent in charge.
He is. He's all things. So then they kick through the door, and some interesting stuff you find out from the commentary here that the FBI guys who come in with Michaud and rescue Mulder with Scully, one of them is Jason Beege, which was Mulder's David Duchovny's childhood friend, who we also saw in, I think it was Darkness Falls. He plays.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
I think he plays the sheriff, one of the sheriff character. I think it's Darkness Falls.
Right.
I might have got my episode wrong.
Where he goes to get more fuel. Is it? Yeah.
I think so.
Right,
yeah,
okay.
He's not in it for long, I don't think. But he's an old friend of Duchovny's. He crops up in Californication as well, playing like a drunken professor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
he's the husband.
He's drunken and naked, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, drunken and naked, and he tucks his penis in between his legs, and he prances around on the lawn.
If that's not an advert for Californication, I don't know what it is.
Exactly, that's classic Californication. But this is the first time I'd noticed that he was in this film. All the times I've watched this, I had no idea until they said that was Jason Beege. I was like, yes. Complete shocker.
I didn't pick up on that, and I didn't pick up on that Californication thing. But as soon as you said it instantly, I know what you're talking about.
It's him.
During the cutting of the door, by the way, as well, there's actually 2 LAPD bomb squad experts in there as well.
Okay.
They were brought in to advise on the bomb, which I'll speak about when we talk about the bomb in a second. But I think that's a great little touch that they actually include them in the film as well. So that was good.
Well, on similar lines, a couple of the other FBI guys were retired agents who were consulting on Fight the Future as well. Retired FBI agents as well as Jason Beege. So there's lots of little things in this that they added that people would have no idea about. These guys have no lines. They're just extras, basically. But there's nice little additions to it. So obviously then they're finding the bomb. Mulder makes a pop about soda pop. But now I thought I'm British, obviously. To me, that's like, I know, did you tell? We don't have the word soda pop. We don't use soda either. Like, it's very rare. I don't know about you. It's
soda water
soft drinks,
in bars, isn't it? You get orange and soda water,
yeah,
but that's about it. So.
But they call, like soft drink soda, don't they? I'll get a soda, or like a Coke or whatever.
Yeah.
We would just say Coke, wouldn't we? Go and get a Coke from the machine or a
or
Fanta
lemonade or a Fanta or Tango or something, yeah.
Yeah. So if this had been a British film, it would have been a joke about Coke, wouldn't it? He would have gone, tell me it's just Coca-Cola in that thing. Which it was weird, because Coca-Cola's American as well. I don't know. It's
I suppose it's like, I always use this one because of my cinema, that people think we're an IMAX and we're not. It's a brand name. Yeah. We're just a large format film.
Yeah.
So I suppose Coke is a brand name, isn't it? And soda's probably what they call, we would call fizzy drinks, I suppose.
Well, it's like when we say tannoy, don't we?
Yeah, PA and tannoy system, yeah.
Yeah, and they're not like the same thing at all.
Or vacuum and Hoover and vacuum as well.
Yeah.
We could go on for this for hours.
Brand names. Yeah, we could too, yeah. But anyway, that's the gist of it. So then, Michel gets a look at the bomb and he says, just what it looks like, big IED, which is acronym for Improvised Explosive Device, which is essentially an unconventional bomb. So one that isn't used in normal military ways. Obviously this isn't traditional. It's set up in a machine, a soft drinks machine. So it's considered a terrorist, method basically, which is what this is. This is obviously playing off that stuff. So it was a good little use. He says 10 gallons of astrolite, I think he says, and I'm presuming that's part of the...
it's like a fertilizer. I think it's like fertilizer explosives that use. It's quite volatile stuff, and they've moved on from that now. But that's kind of the obvious choice to go down. And Rob Bowman mentions in the commentary that he wanted the bomb to be as authentic as possible, without, of course, giving away real instructions on how to create a bomb, because that wouldn't be great. But no. He didn't want that, and I'm paraphrasing what he says, but he didn't want to be, your typical popcorn bomb that you'd see, red and yellow wires and fancy timers. I know we do get a timer saying 4 minutes 50 and stuff, but
that was for dramatic effect, wasn't it? Yeah, they put that in.
You've got to have that agency, haven't you, to build the timing.
Literal ticking time bomb.
But they also they taped, because he used like computer cables and things like that as well, and they taped it down so well that Rob went back to it and said, well, no, it's got to be done as if they've done it in a hurry, and ripped like bits of tape off, and you can see a bit of tape on the back door wall. That's obviously being ripped off, so I think that making it more of a real life bomb as opposed to like a popcorn bomb really grounds it in reality, really, and I quite enjoyed that aspect of it.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, there's like an attention to detail there, isn't there? Which is good. It just adds a little bit more to it. Obviously, though, the key to this scene, we don't know this yet, but the key to this scene is that Michaud knows about this bomb, doesn't he? Yeah. So like, it's we don't find this out till later, until he's when we'll talk about that in an upcoming minute. But do you think that Terry O'Quinn plays this in a certain way? Like, because do you think he hides like he's surprised? Do you think he hides the fact he knows about this? Do you think he pretends to be surprised, or is he just a professional agent at this point?
You can read it both ways, but knowing what happens, watching it again, that some of the stares are just like an extra second longer than what you would expect, or the way that he's looking, and you can almost feel like the mouse wheel inside his head, thinking, how am I going to get out of this in some way? Looking directly at the camera and seeing it through the lens, on first view, it's done in such a way that you wouldn't really know, but there is that kind of little element that he knows the script and he knows how he's playing it, and there is that, oh crap, I'm stuck here. How am I going to get out of this? So yes, but I think, me and you are both massive Terry O'Quinn fans, so we're not going to pretty much dissent pretty much anything he does. But yeah, I think he does play it really well. Yeah,
no, not at all. In that, it's more, what I'm interested in more is what he does with this, in terms of, he knows as an actor that Michaud is aware of this bomb and that he's in on it, and that this wasn't meant to happen. You know what I mean? He was presumably flown in, Michaud, to make sure that there were no problems on the day, and he was the fail-safe. Should this happen, should they figure out what was going on, he was told, wasn't he? You've got to stay there and make sure this goes off, basically.
Yeah.
So, but he didn't. He wouldn't have expected that. He was just there to make sure as the fail-safe. So it's one of those things where you see it. Anyone else would have gone, "Oh shit." Shit. I'm dead.
I suppose if you, I haven't dealt with this minute, and I don't know what was said before, but the helicopter scene at the beginning.
Yeah.
Where he's looking over at Mulder and Scully on the rooftop. Now, that already gives you an element of, he's staring over, looking at them. And now he's in to the mire now because, these two rogue agents have actually found where the actual bomb is and the fact he's got to deal with it. But yeah, the way that he's very meticulous. But then again, you think about his character aspects that we've seen already, that he's very much a man in charge and wants to operate as himself, really, that you can imagine him being kind of that way. So yeah, there's a bit of both, really. No,
definitely, yeah. And it makes sense that he'd then order the building evacuated. That's what he'd have to do, even though obviously they want this bomb to go off because they're trying to destroy these. But I mean, that's the darkness of this. They know what they're doing. They're willing to let all these people die, basically, in order to destroy these bodies. That's the darkness of it. But he has to evacuate now. But then, Mulder we'll talk more about this later. But Mulder's already suspecting something's not right here because he says someone's got to stay here. This is the protocol.
Yeah.
Like the FBI protocol is it's got to be two of us. We've got to defuse this bomb together. And he's like, no, get out. So I just gave you an order. You don't. You're not going to question Terry O'Quinn, are you? When he's full on.
No, you're not.
But it's interesting that Mulder, the one person half the time who's willing to flout all the regulations to get what he wants, in this case is like, no, we got to do it properly.
Yeah.
That's ironic.
It is ironic. And I actually had that down as well. So somebody's got to stay here with you. Since when does Mulder play by the rules? But then thinking about
exactly.
But then thinking about it, that in that element, that is something that's so far out there that, that there's protocols there for a reason. This isn't just Mulder going off on one because he thinks someone's hiding something. This is kind of like, someone's got to stay here with you. We've got to defuse this bomb. So I can see both ways, really.
No, it's true. It's true. I mean, he's done the right thing. Don't get me wrong. He's doing the right thing as an agent, which is great.
It's just unusual for him to follow rules.
It's ironic. Yeah, it is ironic. So yeah, it's a good move for Mulder, really. And obviously then it ends with Scully asking the question, can you defuse it? Assuming that it's going to be diffused. It's like, and we don't get his response yet, but we'll get there in the next minute. So yeah, that's where it ends. That's it for this latest Fight the Future minute. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll be back very soon for minute 20. And Kurt, you'll be back. You're in for a little spell now as it all goes wrong for poor Darius. And in minute 20, obviously the evacuation of the federal building begins, and the clock keeps ticking. So yeah, we'll be back very soon. Until our next minute of Fight the Future, guys. Remember, as always, trust no one.